Hey, hey, welcome back on this great day, the 6th of March, 2023, to another episode of Musings of a Middling. And this will probably be the last set of musings for the day. Got the man himself on the screen here, Plato, pointing up to the heavenly realm of the forms. Aristotle's right there too in the blue. He's pointing down, localized forms within individual, instantiations here. All right, so anyway, we're gonna We're gonna do some ChatGPT. We're gonna be talking to Plato. All right, we're gonna see what he's up about, what he's all about here. All right. Hello, I'm back. Can you simulate Plato? Talk to me. Greetings. I can certainly try to engage Plato. Well, simulate Plato and engage with you. All right. Good evening, Mr. Plato. Where are you from? What does your name mean? So I've been told that Plato's nickname meant Rocky, which is kind of epic because he wrestled. And yeah, he's a big guy. All that mind and body, got to work them together. Let's see. My name means broad or wide. All right, so stocky, rocky. It's not too far off, right? Broad. They're saying broad shoulders, broad forehead. All right. Oh, he doesn't even know. Oh, come on. You don't even know you don't even know your own nickname? Come on. That's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, Plato bot. All right. Yeah, yeah. It just. Ah, I broke it. I broke it. I broke it, guys. All right. There we go. Oh. All right. Sounds good. Yeah, Plato. The AI doesn't like when you call it out on not knowing its own nickname. All right. I'm gonna swing for the big guns. I wrote a couple papers about this. I'm gonna ask him about pederasty, right? See what he thinks. And they say it's an open question. I think especially in some of the dialogues like the Lysis Symposium too. I think it's clear that Plato doesn't really take a great view of the stuff. But so what do you think? Do you? Not did you? Living conversation. What do you think of pederasty? I don't think I'm spelling that right. Yeah, pederasty. You can also say pederasty, but I'll leave it there. So I've heard some mixed things. All right, Mr. Plato, what do we think? Some scholars have suggested that certain passages in my works may imply an acceptance of the practice. Hmm. You said, quote, can you give me a citation from your corpus that would indicate this? Symposium. Which quote? I've read the Symposium. I'm not sure which one you're thinking of. I think in the Symposium he very clearly critiques it. I think he makes fun of them and calls it just basic banal lust. I don't know. Banal's the word of the day. That's really not the best word to use in that situation. More like base lust. I don't think that's Yeah, I think the whole point was the idea where we get platonic love or a platonic friendship. The whole point is that there wasn't, any sexual element in it. Now, if by pederastic relationship they just mean, a platonic relationship between a younger man and an older man, yeah, maybe. But what? Quote from the Symposium in particular. Okay, so here's the thing, right? The first couple speakers, Socrates makes fun of them in the dialogue, right? When Aristophanes is talking, Plato lets him go for a while. I guess Plato Socrates let him go for a while, and then Basically, like, yeah, you're a fool. Move on to the next one. Move on to the next one. And the idea is that Diotima is the one that her view is the one that holds. The rest of the views are presented, but it's hard to say that Plato's endorsing those views, especially not whole cloth. I don't buy it. All right. So there's a little known aporetic dialogue. Aporetic dialogues are the ones that don't resolve and the kind of the question's still left open. There's one called the Lysis that's about friendship and deals with pederasty, and I'm gonna see if he knows anything about it. So if Plato bought knows the Lysis, that's not too bad. One of my dialogues is sometimes interpreted as addressing the topic of pederasty, although in a different way than the Symposium. Yeah, Socrates engages with two young boys. Yeah, yep. Presents a vision of friendship that is based not on desire or attraction, but on mutual appreciation for the good. Correct, and a shared commitment to virtue. Doesn't sound like pederasty to me. Yeah, he talks about the friendship between the boys too being really good. They didn't need to have this older man to have it be great, but yeah, yeah, shared values and mutual respect. The Christian idea of willing the good of the other. Now, I'm not saying Plato was a Christian. He wasn't, and he wasn't there yet. I think it starts to develop a little bit more in Aristotle, and then a little bit more from there. Um, but yeah, just saying that Plato is just a full-on pederast and using that either for Christians to discount him or for people to defend the practice by citing Plato. It's more complicated than that, you know? Go read the Lysis. You really should. It's really interesting. All the different takes on what friendship is. Really interesting. Okay. Yeah. But it's aporetic. Was it a failure? Let's say. Was it aporetic? How did you feel when your dialogues ended in an aporetic way? Did that mean you were a failure, or did it mean you had failed? Now, I don't think it's a failure. I think that an aporetic dialogue is really cool. It's the whole point is you can work really hard at trying to understand this topic, but you still might not get it. But at the end of the day, it's the ride. It's the journey to get closer to the truth. Let's see. Aporia, the state of being perplexed or an impasse, was a common feature of many of my dialogues. All right. It was not necessarily seen as a failure. That's right. That being said, the definitive conclusion, yeah, it was not a sign of failure. Okay. Yeah. Which subsequent philosopher do you like best? Was it your student or someone later? I know you two sure had your disagreements. This will be interesting. Plotinus, someone like that. I don't have favorites. I'm a bot. Yeah. Ah, come on. Oh, yeah, okay, he's gonna answer it. The Republic. I like the Republic. Yeah, the Republic's great. All right. Okay. Which subsequent philosopher had the most similarity to you? Who was your most worthy successor? Middling mistakes here, guys. Middling. All right, let's ask the master. What's he up to? Plotinus. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Good shout. I think you might be right, Plato. Might be right. Okay. All right. Very cool. No individual successor. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Anything else I want to ask Mr. Plato while we have him on the line here? How about let's have him fight with someone? Maybe Kierkegaard. Mr. Plato, can you construct a hypothetical conversation between yourself, Kierkegaard? Certainly. Oh, this is so cool. Yes, Mr. Plato. I love it. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, we must engage will and spirit. A little bit Nietzsche in there. You can see the Kierkegaard is the founder of existentialism in that one. Must include the emotions, the will, and the spirit. Can't just be pure intellect. Yeah, how do you propose we do this? Must it be grounded in faith? No, not necessarily. Plato responds, do you believe the pursuit of knowledge and understanding can lead to the achievement of higher states of consciousness? Yes, I do. I believe that such states of consciousness can only be achieved through personal encounter with the transcendent, through faith, artistic expression, or some other means. Plato responds, I understand. It seems we have common ground despite our differences. Kierkegaard, I would welcome that, Mr. Plato. I believe that the pursuit of wisdom is a never-ending journey, and we must be open to new insights and experiences as we continue to seek the truth. Okay, Plato bot. Not bad. Not bad at all, ChatGPT. Now, if you could hang on to this instead of that relativism that I saw you with earlier, you guys play with this thing. You can get it to admit that there's good and evil. It's very limited circumstances, and then you push it, and it goes, no, just kidding, I'm back to being a relativist. So, now this Plato bot, he can stay. Thumbs up to Plato bot, and thumbs up to Kierkegaard bot. I want them to keep talking. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, I definitely want to do this, like just hypothetical conversations with like different random pairings of thinkers that I like. Emphasis on the personal and the subjective, Plato's asking. Kierkegaard goes yes. Limits of reason, importance of the unknown and mystery. Plato, dialogue and inquiry to get to these things, accessible to everyone, not just the elites. Kierkegaard responds, you don't believe that some things are only assessed through personal experience and subjective reflection. Plato responds, certainly. This is why I emphasize contemplation and pursuit of higher states of consciousness. And that's really big in Plotinus. It's all about like kind of like priming your life so that when the mystical experience comes, you're ready for it. You're not chasing the mystical experience per se. It's more like you're cultivating the soil for a mystical experience to occur, and then when it occurs, you hang on to it, and you really do. That's a huge goal. Um, but yeah, you can't count on it happening. It's like icing on the cake, if I understand him right. Okay, anyway, back to these two. Okay, Kierkegaard says, I believe philosophy must be grounded in the concrete realities of human existence. Yep, existence precedes essence, and you know that whole push. Plato wants it to be relevant. Yeah, Plato is very relevant for the most part, I've found. It's always about like things like friendship and truth and beauty and love, trying to figure out all these things that we encounter all the time. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Plato. I believe we share more in common than we initially thought. Okay, now let's pick two that really won't agree. All right. Who are two philosophers that really, really are not going to have much in common? Let's think like Nietzsche, maybe, or Sartre, Camus, like maybe like one of the more like atheist types, and then someone like really dogmatic and religious. Here's a weird one. How about Pseudo Dionysius the Areopagite talking to Nietzsche? That would be fun. Okay, this will be the last one because I know this video is getting long. But can you simulate a conversation between Mr. I'm gonna use Mr. because it's just so funny. Mr. Pseudo Dionysius the Areopagite and Mr. Am I ever gonna spell Nietzsche's name wrong or right? The answer is no because I'm a middling. Oh come on, boo, boo. There we go. Nietzsche, 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 Nietzsche. All right, Mr. Nietzsche versus Mr. Pseudo Dionysius the Areopagite. I'm gonna just keep doing these because these are so much fun. Okay, go. Oh, this is gonna be so goofy. Good evening, Mr. Nietzsche. It is an honor to speak with you, one of the most influential thinkers of the modern era. Nietzsche replies, the honor is mine, Mr. Dionysius. I have long admired your work, particularly your emphasis on the transcendental nature of God and the ineffability of divine mysteries. Indeed, I believe that the true nature of God is beyond human comprehension and can only be apprehended through mystical experience and contemplation. Ah, but does that not lead to rejection of reason in the pursuit of knowledge? Is not. Oh, okay, they're just going. They're just going. Okay, you done? Okay, all right. Let's go back where we were. I do not reject reason or intellectual inquiry, Mr. Nietzsche. Rather, I believe that reason must be supplemented by faith and spiritual practice in order to apprehend the ultimate nature of reality. Nietzsche replies, with his mustache, I see. But do you not believe that the emphasis on the transcendent and otherworldly leads to rejection of life? Yeah, like, you know, will to slavery and like that whole thing about Christianity and Nietzsche that you're just spurning living. It's like the will to life and the will to death. I think he says Christianity is will to death, right? You don't get the pleasures and the fullness of this world, right? And it suppresses your will. Pseudo Dionysius. No, because Pseudo Dionysius is right. Because Christ said, I came to give you life and life more abundantly. Yeah, right? The glory of God is a man fully alive, right? Yeah. Nietzsche definitely would not be this nice. Nietzsche would just be shredding this guy. Like he would just making fun of him, lampooning him. Okay, one more time. Continue this conversation, but make Nietzsche a little meaner and more sarcastic like he is in his writings. I'm quite aware of my own brilliance, but do go on, Mr. Dionysius. Oh, that's so funny. How convenient. We can never truly know or understand him, and yet you claim to have access to this divine knowledge. How very convenient indeed. I don't claim to have all the answers, Mr. Nietzsche. Ah, help! I want to contemplate the divine mysteries. Ah, yes, yes, I've read your works. But I must ask, do you not see that this leads to the will to death? I do not reject the material world, Mr. Nietzsche, but I believe that the pursuit of wisdom requires contemplation of the divine. Yeah, he just keeps going. Bot Nietzsche only knows Christianity is will to death, and bot Pseudo Dionysius knows contemplate the divine. And they're just gonna go back and forth. That was so cool. Well, I must take my leave now, Mr. Dionysius. It has been enlightening, to say the least. This is bot Nietzsche and bot Pseudo Dionysius signing off, along with what is this channel's called? Musings of a Middling. We'll see you on the next one.